Sign up for free Stratfor Intelligence. Simply enter your email address to receive 2 free reports each week.
The Occupy Wall Street movement has gone global, and there has even been attempts to capitalize on this movement in various Chinese cities. The Occupy China movement, however, has failed to gain traction on the mainland. We really didn't expect to see this movement transfer to mainland China. However, given the Jasmine protests earlier this year, there were many who were waiting to see whether or not this movement could be rejuvenated by the global call to action. The global Occupy movement lacks a nucleus or leadership. Despite a common theme of corporate greed, there is very little direction on how to proceed, and under these circumstances, we have seen no contagion effect in mainland China. However, the Tiananmen protests in 1989 also started with very little leadership or direction, and many Chinese activists that I've spoken with feel that all is needed is a spark to ignite a fire. After all, there are plenty of protests localized daily in China on issues such as land grabs, the environment, and even corruption. The Jasmine movement provided a spark for organized action in China. However, it quickly fizzled under an aggressive government response. The Occupy China movement hasn't even gotten that far. While it is not unforeseeable for a small movement to gain momentum in China, the problem with both the Jasmine and the Occupy movements are neither were homegrown. Although the Jasmine movement was spearheaded by Chinese, it was done so overseas. And the Occupy movement had supporters and organizers within China, but the concept was foreign-generated. Moreover, the Chinese government and media has actually acknowledged the Occupy movements in the U.S. and in the EU, taking the opportunity to point out the failures of Wall Street and capitalism, while at the same time censoring any indication of an Occupy China movement. Also, many Chinese do not have access to the social internet sites that have helped to ignite these protests in Western countries, namely Facebook. And those that do find this information quickly scrubbed off of similar Chinese sites. Ultimately, the Chinese, even those that want change, are wary of foreign influences. Anything emanating from outside of the state will be used by the state to highlight foreign interference. That said, the domestic wealth gap and its ensuing tensions could generate a homegrown movement that could threaten Beijing much more so than any Occupy Wall Street movement could muster.